Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alan and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Cloudlifter made by Cloud Microphones, and I've been using this for about a year now, so I think I can give you guys a pretty well-rounded review on it. And in this video, we're going to talk about the features, the build quality, the price. I'm going to show you how to set it up, and then also let you guys hear some sound examples towards the end of the video. Don't forget, I'll have everything listed down in the description if you guys want to check any of the things out that I'm talking about throughout the video. Well, let's jump into the review. Let's kick things off by talking about the features and what this product does for anyone that doesn't know. Basically, it uses phantom power to give you up to a 25 decibel boost for your microphone. And you may be asking why you need something like this. Well, some microphones are very gain hungry. Take the Shure SM7B, for example. It's a very popular microphone, but it notoriously requires a lot of gain to sound its best. Many audio interfaces and preamps aren't powerful enough to push this microphone without using something like a Cloudlifter. This is mainly used with dynamic mics and ribbon mics, and even though it does use phantom power, it doesn't actually push that phantom power onto the microphone, so it is safe to use. As far as features go, it's really bare bones. Basically, you have an XLR input and an XLR output. There aren't any buttons or switches anywhere on the Cloudlifter, so everything is just controlled basically from your preamp or audio interface. And that's all for the features. Let's go ahead and talk about the build quality, and it's a very simple product, so it won't take long at all. And basically it is all made out of metal. You have, like I said, the XLR input and outputs, and those are well made as well. Then on the bottom, you do have little rubber feet to keep this thing from sliding around, so that's pretty cool. I also do like the blue finish, and I think it looks really nice. One kind of downside, I would say, is that it's not very heavy, so it does kind of move around a little bit. If you're using like long XLR cables, sometimes it can get pulled a little bit, but not too bad. Overall, I think it's really solid. I don't think you'll have any problems with the build quality. Let's talk for just a minute about the price, because this thing isn't cheap. Usually it retails on Amazon for anywhere from $170 to $180. At the time of filming this video, there's actually a sale going on where you can get this Cloudlifter for $150, so be sure to check down in the description, see if it's listed at that price. If you're watching this video later, it probably won't be, but be sure to check just in case you can save some money on it. So I think because of the price, this is where you have to decide if the Cloudlifter is something that you actually need. If you have an audio interface that doesn't have very much gain, I definitely think the Cloudlifter can help you get a better sound out of your microphone. For example, let's take the Shure SM7B that I'm using for this video. Shure recommends having 60 decibels of gain to push this microphone, so there's a lot of audio interfaces that don't come anywhere close to that. Let's say you're using the 3rd generation Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and that's a really popular audio interface, and it retails for around $110, and it actually has 56 decibels of gain, which is really close to that 60 decibel mark, but you do have to remember that not all of that gain is going to be usable, because by the time you crank that gain up, it's going to get pretty noisy. Let's take a look at the 3rd generation Scarlett 4i4, and that's what I'm actually using to make this video and what I use for all of my audio recordings. So this audio interface retails for around $230 at the time of making this video. And again, it has the same amount of gain, has 56 decibels, so the same as that Focusrite Scarlett Solo. And I'm actually not using an audio interface right now, and I think it's pretty usable. For sure, it's not so quiet that it sounds bad or anything. But I think you do have to keep in mind it might depend on what you're recording. So for me, even if I'm not using a Cloudlifter, I can get enough gain out of this. But again, I'm just one guy. I can sit really close to the microphone. Maybe if you're wanting to film a podcast or something where you're maybe a little bit farther away from the microphone, you need to pick up a little bit more sound, I think that Cloudlifter is probably going to be necessary. Because if I do crank up the gain much more on this, it does get kind of noisy and doesn't sound nearly as clean. So if you pick up the Scarlett Solo and the Cloudlifter, your all-in price is about $300. And if you get the Scarlett 4i4 and the Cloudlifter, your price is going to be somewhere between $450 to $470, depending on what price you can find the Cloudlifter at. I think it depends on the situation and what you're recording, whether you need a Cloudlifter or not. So for example, I think I can get by without it since I'm just kind of one guy sitting here in front of a mic, and I can stay pretty close to the mic for recording these types of videos. But my previous audio interface, I had the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and it was the 2nd generation. And it did not have enough gain to push this microphone very well at all. So then I was really thankful to have the Cloudlifter, and I did use it all the time to kind of push that microphone to where it needed to be. So basically what I'm trying to say with all of this is look at your audio interface, figure out how much gain it has, because you may or may not need this, so you can kind of decide that for yourself. Let me go ahead and show you guys how to set this up really quickly. So first, plug in your audio interface into your computer, and then you're going to run a microphone cable from your audio interface into the Cloudlifter. And then we'll run another cable from the Cloudlifter into the microphone. And you want to be sure that phantom power is turned on. And also make sure you have a audio interface with phantom power or this won't work. So be sure you look into that. Anyway, very simple to set up and easy to use. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and hear some sound examples. And like I said, I'm using the Shure SM7B microphone running straight into the Scarlett 4i4 audio interface. And this has been without the Cloudlifter so far. Now the Cloudlifter is plugged in. So between the audio interface and the Cloudlifter, now I have access to up to 81 decibels of gain. I mean, all that's not going to be usable because of how noisy it's going to get as you really crank it up. But earlier my audio interface was set to about 3/4 of the way up, and very much farther than that, it really gets too noisy to be unusable. Right now it's set at about halfway with the Cloudlifter kind of pushing it the rest of the way. So I can definitely get more volume and presence out of the microphone with the Cloudlifter than I can get without it, and definitely makes this mic sound a lot more alive. One other benefit of this, say you're filming a podcast or something, and maybe you can't stay right up on the mic the whole time. So maybe you kind of scoot back, move around just a little bit if you're laughing or something. The microphone definitely picks me up a lot better with this Cloudlifter than it does without it. So like I said, it kind of depends on what you're filming, whether I think it's useful for everyone. For me, I can kind of get by without it, but even still, I can benefit from it because it definitely sounds better this way. Like I said, as far as price, if you use kind of this exact setup, say you're using a Scarlett 4i4, the Cloudlifter, and the Shure SM7B, that gets pretty expensive. It's around $800, but you might not need an audio interface with as many features as that one, because that one has MIDI stuff. So if you're not doing music stuff, you wouldn't necessarily need that. But you can look at different audio interfaces, find the one that fits your needs. But this is a really popular setup. There's a lot of people that use this pretty much exact same thing, and it comes in around $800. Maybe not the most cost effective, but it does sound really nice. And something about the Shure SM7B, it just has such a nice kind of warm presence to it that I really like, and a lot of other people like as well. I think that's it for our sound tests. To sum up this video, I think the Cloudlifter is a great option if you do need some more gain for your Shure SM7B, or even a different microphone that has kind of a similar issue. So leave it up to you guys whether you think you need it or not for your setup. And again, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget everything is listed down in the description if you guys are interested in any of these products that I mentioned throughout the video. Also, be sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. And if you're new around here, I do post gear reviews pretty often, and I also do guitar tutorials and piano tutorials. So thanks again so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.